name is Jen. I am a soon-to-be self-published author, bumbling my way through the process from first draft to first publish. I know this will surprise some of you, but I am by nature not a very organized person. I work at a job where I have to play the role of an organized person. I do things in my ministry and church situations where I serve the role of an organized person, but in general, by nature, personality-wise, all of that is learned. A lot of that comes from my mother being rather organized and structured. It is not at all aligned with my personality. So how on earth do I stay organized as a person who's by nature not organized? So that's what I want to talk about today. And in the process, it will give me an opportunity to explain where we are in the process, because I have some really good progress, really exciting news on where we are in the editing process. I actually wrote the study using a software called For the Words, which is a fantastic tool that helps me to stay focused. So I actually did the writing in For the Words, and then I copied it into a Word document. I used the default headers and all the rest of that. I think I'll probably do a section on formatting. I'm still kind of beating my head against the wall on formatting, so I'm gonna wait until I've figured out some more things before I make a video about it. But I did the proofread, and that is what I called the first edit, but it was really more of like a proofread. And that is what ended up into my second draft, which is what I shared with my alpha readers. And then when I started editing, I would open up the Excel file or Google Sheets file that has feedback from my alpha readers, and I would open up the document from the second draft folder, which is the first edit folder, and I would save it into the second edit folder, aka the third draft, and would just like start editing. After I finished a week, what I would do is I would then pull those 5 files together and put them into this new file, which is properly formatted for the page size and margins that I plan to use for my final publish on KDP. I did an edit when I moved the file over, and then I did another kind of proofread edit as I put it into the formatting. And this is all inside that second edit. And I honestly believe this is why the draft I'm about to give to my beta readers is so much better. So I did that second edit in the process. Well, then you can make Microsoft Word read to you. Now, I used to use this all the time when I was in high school and college. It's a great way to proofread documents. I will say I laughed every single time that the software said Holy Spurt, because I left the second I off in Holy Spirit, so it's a Holy Spurt, and I'd be like, oh. And I never would have caught that if it hadn't been for listening to it. It took about 5 hours to read through the entire study, and I paused it a lot, and I would correct things and made a ton of improvements. So why do I say all that? Well, because inside the second edit, I have essentially done 3 complete edits. An edit, a proofread, and then an audio recorder read, I guess is what I'll call that. All of that was contained in the second edit. I am thrilled about the quality of my third draft. Now, there are still a ton of steps left to go because I want this book to be as refined and clean and ready to go as possible. It is so exciting. The acknowledgments is about half done, and the glossary is about half done. Other than that, this document's ready to go. I mean, I talk about a copyright in there that I haven't actually filed yet, but I have all the copyright language in the document. I just need to, file for my ISBN number and update that. Aside from that, like, everything is ready to go. So I'm absolutely thrilled with the status of everything. So I'm giving my beta readers a full month of like head start to, hopefully get the first 3 to 4 weeks turned in, so that when I start June 1st, I'm starting in week 1 and they are all working on weeks 4 or 5. The outcome of that will be my 4th draft. That is what I will be sending to my copy editor. I have found a copy editor. I did a test edit, super thrilled with her. I did a second test edit for who I was gonna hire as a proofreader, was not thrilled, so I'm going to continue the search for a proofreader. But it'll go, I'll get it from my beta readers, I'll do the editing, send it to my copy editor, get it back from the copy editor, send it to the proofreader, get it back from the proofreader, and finalize formatting and submit it to Kindle Direct Publishing to print ARCs, which I hope to be sending out before September 1st. It is amazing. I have like this whole new level of energy because the edit is done. The edit has been so frustrating and so exhausting. And like I talked about last week, just waking up every day and having to fight fear has been a exhausting battle. And then just looking at it today, right as I was getting ready to go to church and going, yeah, I need to work on the glossary. Yeah, I need to finish the acknowledgments, but we're basically ready to go. And that is such a weight off my shoulders. It is really exciting, and I am absolutely thrilled. I've already sent the confidentiality survey to beta readers. I will say that is one thing that I did do. I have 8 people that have signed up to be beta readers, but some of them signed up like 4 months ago. And so I was trying to figure out what is a really like gentle way to give people permission to back out, right? I mean, like, hey, your life could have changed in the last 4 months. And so what I decided to do is just use the confidentiality survey. I sent them all an email, just the beta readers. I sent an email last week that was basically, here's the process, here's what we're gonna do. And then I had a whole paragraph in there that was like, some of you committed months ago and your life may have changed. If that's you, no need for an awkward conversation. Just don't fill out the confidentiality survey. If you haven't filled it out by June 6th, then I will assume you no longer want to be a beta reader and just remove you from the list. So really, really simple. I have 8 people that signed up as beta readers. 6 of them have already filled out the confidentiality survey. I don't know if those other 2 are taking me up on that offer to not move forward, or if those other 2 just haven't gotten around to it yet. The email will be going out in the morning, and I am so excited. This is coming together. Finally. So yeah, there's the update. That's where we are. That's a little bit about how I stay organized. It is what I call controlled chaos and attacking fear every day, like we talked about last week. So I know this video has gone on for a while. I'm gonna have to cut it up a ton because it's showing 23 minutes. So I'm going to cut it here, but I appreciate every single one of you. I'm so thankful to have you on this journey with me. I am excited. We have 13 subscribers. Like, to be honest, I didn't know if I was going to have any subscribers. Now we have 13. Like, that's really exciting. So I'm super thankful for every single person that has encouraged me, the comments, the likes. It just warms my heart to see just people supporting what is going on here. And I am so excited to share this book with you and the rest of the world. Thank you for being here. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for liking, just watching the video, subscribing, sharing, whatever, all those things, but even just for being here. Thank you for that. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one real soon. I noticed that the way that I make these videos is I do an intro, just like all of the creators that I love who have a jump, like the little animated jump, but I don't have an animated jump. So I do this full intro and then I just start talking about it. So if that annoys you, let me know what you think. Should I make an intro jump animation, or should I just stop doing an introduction, or should I keep doing the way it is? Give me an idea in the comments.